All right, welcome to Community Business Hour. It's yours truly, Jonyprofit, here on air at 90.1 KPFT HD3 Pacifica Radio. So today we're talking about the whole startup thing. Because, of course, during the week I get to hang out with a lot of you, and you give me all these great business ideas of what you want to do and how you want to do it big and, you know, blah, 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 blah. You can all start a business. It's all possible. Don't want to be discouraging. I want to be positive. But, you know, there's just certain things that I think maybe it could help us all if maybe you understood, or you could just like comprehend, hi Renee, comprehend the things that we're saying that will maybe ease the stress. And so I had posted on my Facebook page one of Gary Vaynerchuk's videos, and to kind of really drive home the point of, for most people that start a business, it's like you're not okay with yourself. It's usually like you're trying to prove something. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but a business is really not the arena you want to try to prove yourself. There's plenty of things like go for a Guinness World Book of Records of most pickles ate or something, or run a marathon from here to Boston. I don't know, but there's so many ways that you could prove yourself to the public. But even the problem with that, in another video that Noel or someone had posted earlier, one of those motivational vehicles about be okay in your own skin, he posted a video that really touched on the point that so many of you live for the approval of others versus your own approval. Like you'd rather have somebody else validate you rather than be okay in your own skin. And that leads to a lot of problems. That leads to a lot of problems. And so today we're going to go over, what do I have? 8 steps. If you're watching, see my clipboard. If you're watching it on YouTube or on Facebook, I forgot. We'll talk about technology and how to be your own broadcaster later on. I think the next show comes in early and they're going to hang out with me. But the big thing is, I want to walk you through these 8 steps, whether you're growing your business or you're starting the thing up from scratch or whatever, just to kind of just think this through a little. So I'll just jump right into it because I'm going to cut short today because there's a lot going on. So if you're following me, you know that there's a huge squash tournament. The Houston Squash Open is going on over at Lifetime Fitness and City Center. Brought in people from around the world. Jahan Zeb, great job. It's all over his Houston International Squash page. You can check that out. So there's just a lot going on in my world, as there should be going on in your world. But when it comes to starting a business, so many of you, because I'm at these events with you, and then you start talking, and then I get a headache, and then I got to leave because you say things that it's like I keep going back to Olaf and the snowman. And then if I call you on it, you get upset because I'm saying I'm repeating your words, but your words seem to offend you. And now all of a sudden you want to have attitude because I'm not giving you that motivational speak, that rosiness. So here's the first thing you need to think about when you're going to start a new venture. You're going to grow the existing business you have going on or whatever you're doing. I encourage you to do this. I really encourage you to do this. I do this with everything. Matter of fact, I'll take an example of, I can't use any folks I'm working with, but we'll just say like we're working out or something like that. The first thing you got to do is you got to think big, bigger, and biggest. I run into folks that don't understand the concept of big, bigger, and biggest. They don't get this concept because in their world, in their little remote corner, in their little community, regardless of the environment around them, they only know what they've seen, and what they've seen sometimes isn't enough, and it's not a lot. So unfortunately, or fortunate for me, I've seen some things. And a lot of my peers have seen some things. So when a rookie comes in, and that rookie could be 90 years old, they just haven't been exposed, and they start dreaming and telling us about their business, and we're thinking, you're so late, you're so small, you're so behind the 8 ball that you need to, maybe bring it up a notch. And then the person gets offended like, oh, how dare you? But here's how the 3 breaks down, the rustling of the paper. When it comes to thinking big, bigger, and biggest, it goes like this. You're thinking big if you get your distribution and your production right. Like if you say, today, John, I'm going to start XYZ cat litter, a new cat litter company, right? I'm like, wow, cat litter, cats got to poop too. Do your thing, right? So I know you're going big. And when you went from the couch potato, when you went from the person that's just sitting there thinking about it, or the person going to all the meetings, or the person setting up a website for no reason, you actually went out and got cat litter. And you are ready to sell it, and you're starting to sell it to people. I'm like, okay, you went big. You're doing awesome. Nothing wrong with big. But now, before you get started, I want you to think bigger. Now let's think in terms of what's the process that you're going to use to really scale this thing up? How do we take you out of the equation? How do we make this bigger now? How can we do this over and over again, and you can start to multiply yourself or multiply your efforts? That's when we go to bigger. So I call that like the process of going market to markets. And I'm not a big fan of marketing. That's my degree in, my MBA minor and all that other stuff. Marketing is cool. But marketing got hijacked by a bunch of people with big mouths, okay? And a bunch of people who couldn't hold a job, and a bunch of people that felt they were creative and they're not, or just a bunch of people, it just got hijacked. And so the same people that are running around selling you marketing are not the same people sitting up here at any of the Fortune 100 companies actually doing any of the stuff that they're going to sell to you for $1,500 a month. It's another story. So going bigger means now when I say cat litter, you're like, oh no, John, I got a process in place. And we're scalable. Right now, we're in 4 counties. Like 4 counties. That's awesome. Wow. Now when we get to biggest, when you're starting to think biggest, and again, this is, okay, so one of the things Gary said in his beautiful, profane, like profanity-filled speech, which, you know, tough skin can take it, you can listen. He was like, look, if you're happy where you're at, we're cool with it. I'm cool with it. My speeches and my rants and my mean little post on Facebook are not to those that are happy. Like if my friends have worked all their life, they're retired, they're sitting on the patio, they're enjoying life, they're just cool, they're visiting their kids. Or if you're a young person and you just know you want to draw and you want to do art, great. I'm talking to the people out here that say to me, I want to go big. I want to build a business. I want to do this legacy stuff. I want to go horror. I want to, and all this hype, but they're doing nothing that somebody that's actually successful would do. And they're passing this off to other people who are just like, well, they're the loudest in the room. Let's follow them. And so the point is, here's the point. When it comes to going biggest to those that like, I want to build a big company. I want to be the company that did me dirty and all that other hoo-ha that people put out here. The point is, now we're to that point where we're talking about license and franchise. Now we take the system, we hang out with the investment community. We're looking at the divestiture. We're looking at the exit strategy. So we took my cat litter and we said, look, stage 1 of the cat litter, you know, like I'm going to produce it. I'm going to take it to trade shows and I'm going to hand business cards. I'm going to have a great time doing my whole like really awesome like cat litter, cool name and little logos. And then, you know, you think, okay, let me plan a next scenario, the next level. I'm going to say, hey, I want it to be bigger. So now it's not just me doing it. It's my employees doing it. Now I have like process in place and I train them to come in to love cat litter. We all have to actually taste it because it's organic. We have all these systems in place and I actually travel the region to tell my employees and bring this culture of like, we love cat litters because we love cats. And it's like, okay, now you're talking bigger because now I can see how I can start bringing investors in and we could start, you know, leveraging against the government and saying, hey, we're bringing tax dollars and we're doing all this, you know, give us some. I can work with you. But if you're stuck on being the consultant, if you're stuck on being the one person sitting there spinning the wheel because no one can do it as great as you, then we're not going to have a conversation. We're not going to have a good conversation. I'm going to send you to a motivational coach so you can keep doing the same thing over and over again and really not see any success. But when it comes to biggest, that's when I want you to start listening to CNBC and hear who's buying which company and why they're buying it. And Google wants this or ABC wants that or ADM wants to, you know, look for a company that's doing the following. I want you to take the cat litter, make a deliverable out of it, create a system that extracts money out of markets, and then turn that thing over. So that's the first thing. Always think of anything you want to do as big, bigger, and biggest. That's step number 1. Big. You're doing it. Awesome. I'm super proud of you're doing it, especially if you're doing it well. Bigger. Now the thing's scalable. Now you kind of stepped out of the business a little bit in your mind. This isn't us doing it yet. This is just in your mind when thinking concept. Then you turn around and say, hey, okay, great. I got this. You know, I got a system in place. I can be in more than like 8 places at once. And then the big picture is because all business is about money business, period. I don't care if you love it and it's your passion. You're not in business. It's just a hobby that pays well. Be okay with yourself. But the main thing I want you to understand is when it comes to business and it's dog eat dog, competitive capitalism, whatever, greed, however you want to define it in your world, you got to make money, period. That's it. If your system doesn't make money, there's a fundraiser. There's a drive going right now at KPFT. You can call up here and donate because it's a non-profit. Like you're not going to get interrupted with somebody trying to sell you Viagra during the middle of my show. You're not going to hear 500 pesticide companies going on and on about why you need their pesticides during one of my shows or any of these shows. And so it's listener sponsored. That's why I'm here. I came in to train some youths on how to do radio, and the management was nice enough to give me time to blow hot air. So anyway, that's phase number one. Phase number one. Number two, and this is a big one. This is the huge one. This relates to working out. It relates to just about everything. Give yourself time. That's what you don't do. You never give yourself time, because by the time you make a decision, you're under the gun. And that means you got pressure. You don't make enough money. If you don't get this before Big Mama dies, if you don't do this before your boss leaves, it's always pressure that's unwarranted. The only pressure you have each day is to get up and figure out a way to enjoy your life. And so unless you got some mental issues and you need drugs for it, which is a very real and serious thing that impacts all of us. I know some days I wake up like, I don't even want to be here. I can't. Oh my God, I literally wake up. It's like, I won't call it depression because I know depressed people, but it's as close as you can get because it gets old out here. We're on a big old rock spinning around. It's just spinning. And you got to figure out how to make it worthwhile while these crazy people are saying crazy things and doing crazy stuff that you can't appreciate because you're not them and you don't understand how they think. But give yourself time, period. And here are the three things you got to give yourself time for. One, going back to the first one, discover what's possible. There's nothing worse than somebody coming to me. I study, I live and breathe this stuff 24/7. I'm not trying to sell you whatever, some internet database of how to manage your contacts. I'm not trying to sell you the latest energy solutions. I'm not trying to sell you my accounting stuff. I'm just here because I like building companies. I like finding markets, like money in markets, and figuring out how can we extract the maximum amount of money out of there and then take that money and go share it with the people we want to share it with. How do we do that? Because they're going to buy no matter what. So how do we get involved? I have no passion about any one industry. Give yourself time to discover what is possible and, more important, why it's possible. If I go back to my cat litter business and I swear up and down, I'm going to do the cat litter. It's going to be huge. I'm doing cat litter. And I go and I say, okay, what's possible? Oh, well, this is possible. That's possible. Sometimes you overlook the simple fact of the why. Why is that possible? Well, it's possible for, in this situation, one company can do it because they're backed by a government across the ocean. They're backed by local militias. They're backed by a group of investors up north. They're backed because their families always had money. They're backed because maybe their boo, their significant other or whatever has deep pockets and like, honey, do whatever you want to do. Or sugar, he could be married to Oprah. I don't know. But you have to know why something is big, bigger, and biggest in your industry. You can't take advice from everyone. You can't run to all these little workshops and network groups and have all these hourly people telling you how you should start a business. You have to discover what is possible and why is it possible. Where's that money coming from? How are they doing it? What resources are available? Are those same resources available to you? Do you have the skill set to do what they're doing? And it's a lot to think about because you were just told if you just believe, if you just hang on, it's going to work. You know how I know? Because I got a new book coming out next week. And it's in Amazon top 5 children progress something entrepreneurship category. Number 1 for 10 minutes when all your friends spammed it. Next thing, give yourself time to learn. I love the fact that everybody wants to be a subject matter expert. But even more so, I love the fact that lynda.com and a lot of and Udacity and all these are actually getting actual experts to teach you how to do stuff. I love the fact that you can literally get a real expert, not somebody who quit their job, never been good at anything, just got a license a year ago, and now out here talking about everybody can do it because everybody can't do it. Everybody cannot race a Formula One race car like Kevin. Everybody cannot fly a plane like Kenneth. Everybody cannot build a building like Kelly and Troy. No, they cannot. And so stop thinking you can when you can't because you didn't take the time to learn. So I love the fact that, like, if you go to my LinkedIn page, I have like every certification I get on lynda.com, I post. And so it used to be free part of school when I was in college. And then with the whole Premier or like whatever I'm paying on LinkedIn now they actually give it to me there too. So it's like I'm jamming with lynda.com. So there's very few subject matters, whether it's how to write a grant. Why would I go to a workshop? I'll get the best in the world that'll sit there. They'll even give me the templates. And guess what? They're not going to like try to upsell me in the end. Resources are unbelievable as far as learning by doing. Learning is possible. Learning is not you sitting around running behind people begging for a mentor. Learning is like we tell our kids, don't ask to come study with me until first you've studied. We can't study it if you haven't looked at the material. So I want you to just think in terms of learn. Give yourself time to learn. If you can't understand money, please don't talk to me about business. Don't ask me to help you if I sit down with you and you cannot talk money. It's not going to work out for us. Number 3, this would be number 3 under give yourself time. Give yourself time to grow, like to reach milestones. Stop thinking you're going to lose like 200 pounds in like a week. Stop thinking you're going to make $10 million in 4 days. It's not going to happen. It's really not going to happen. And if it does, you're probably going to end up going to jail or have some very scary people chasing you down if it did go down like that, like, give us our money back. So give yourself time to grow and reach the milestones. Like for me to get to the point where if my friends are watching, these aren't even guns yet. And then I fell off like a week ago. I had like Mod's Pizza. Don't tell anybody. You know, it's not to give them promotion. It's just I fell off from all that chicken and salmon. Speaking of which, shout out to Maria. She went to Dallas and she won. So if you saw the picture where I'm standing next to the bodybuilder or trainer, she actually went up to Dallas and won her competition. Congratulations. But anyway, you have the ability to set the mile markers. You don't have to, especially if you're wise enough, smart enough, or willing to not set your benchmarks based on someone else's needs, okay? You don't have to finish it before the kids get out of school. You don't have to finish it before your husband gets tired of you, your wife gets tired of you. You don't have to you have to finish it when you finish it. And when you set realistic goals like that, the pressure. I said it was going to be stress-free, right? The majority of the stress. I have 99 problems, and most of you are the one. I can tell you that now. Like when I sit back in my little world and I just look up into the skies, I don't have any problems. Right now, I'm physically healthy. I'm smart enough to know how to go look some stuff up, and I'm ambitious and crazy enough to actually go try it. The problems I have usually has to do with, quite simply, people around me that aren't willing to put in the work. So we go on number 3. Number 3, work on plan B first. I can't stress that enough. Forget your plan A. So we got the cat litter again. When it comes to the cat litter, I want you to, seriously, work on plan B. Plan B needs to be other forms of income, okay? So if you're set, and this doesn't go out to you, if you're set and your significant family member, other, whatever, is sponsoring you and you're good like that, cool. But if you're one of these parents, and I see this a lot, and it's disturbing on so many levels when I see this, a parent, especially a single parent or just parent in general, go out and chase their dreams without a plan B. And then when it falls short and they can't kickstart the money to pay their rent, now all of a sudden they're freaking out and they're blaming everybody and their kids are suffering and they're putting these woohoo stories up on Facebook. And it's just but you could have gotten a job like at Walmart, at UPS. You could, at some point you could have saved the ship. But you kept going to motivational speakers telling you, if you quit now, you know, quitting, as soon as you quit, you're a failure. And I'm thinking, no, in business, we have hard decks and we have ceilings. If I don't make enough money by a certain point, I got to get rid of the people that are around me. I got to pull me out of it, or I got to void that deal. I blew it. I messed up. You have ceilings in place. If we hit a certain amount, it's time to get out and celebrate. It's time to reevaluate, follow the plan. And that's 2 things that I don't see small business owners doing when you get this whole urge to go out there and start your own business. But number 1 was thinking big, bigger, and bigger. Number 2 is give yourself time. Stop rushing it. I get these pressure calls all the time, these text messages like, John, I need it now. I got to do this. You don't understand. I'm like, why? Well, I mean, I'm so lost. What good can come from high speed nothingness? I mean, what is it you need done? What do you need? I can't help it. You're broke. I mean, there's people begging on the corner now. There's people delivering papers now. There's people driving Uber now. There's plenty of ways to make money, and that's the only reason you want your business to succeed right now is because you need money. I'm beating a dead horse. Anyway. So when it comes to working on your plan B, get your survival plan in place. That's number 1, okay? Stop just swinging loose with it. Stop just believing. Stop just thinking it's going to work because you have all the drive in the world. I've said it over and over again. Passion can take you anywhere. Drive will get you where you want to go. That's why right now I'm energetic because that's my job. I'm on air. It's like when Beyonce steps on stage, she could be backstage like, oh, God, one more show. And then when she steps out, it's what Joel Osteen, it's what everybody does when we're entertainers or edutainers. That's what we do. I'm fired up. For you, so you stay awake. Second part of it, working on plan B. Have people around you that help, not hinder. This took me a long, long time because I was Captain Save a Friend. I was Captain Save Everybody because I worked hard. Unfortunately, I was usually the one that was willing to just, go the extra mile. Pays off in sports, especially individual sports. Doesn't pay off so well in business, especially if you have people around you that don't like to pull their own weight. So I say to you, in your plan B, when you're setting up your plan B, before you mess with before I touch the cat litter, I say, what's my plan B in case cat litter doesn't work? Maybe I'll go to PetSmart and become a manager in the cat department. Maybe I'll go to Best Buys or maybe I'll work at the factory where they manufacture cat stuff. I will have a plan B in place. And that's something everybody's like, no, once I left corporate, I'm never going back. I'm like, why are you so mad at corporate? I always say your whole job is to become corporate, but you're mad at corporate. You can say you're mad at the manager. You can say any of that, but I'm just like, why are you mad at corporate? I got nothing. So look, have people around you, and it should be few. Like I can count on, I don't even need my whole hand. The people around me that support me, absolutely, I know that when we're hanging out, it's not about me being their inspiration. It's not about me being their source of, how do I do that again? It's none of that. When I'm hanging out with just this many people, I know that their whole job when they wake up in the morning is, how am I going to get him to the finish line? Period. I appreciate the camaraderie. I love the friendship, but let's be as transparent as possible. I said this when I was over at News 92 FM. I know that this table is full because I'm sitting in front of this dashboard. I never get it twisted. So I say to you, as a business owner or soon to be business owner, you're growing your business. I have my cat litter business as an example. When I'm setting up my plan B, I make sure that I have fallback friends. I have fallback family. I have fallback something that says, one, income wise, we're going to be okay. Sergio's going to be all right. I got kookaroos. Okay. But more importantly, I have people around me that I can actually count on. I can count on. Most of you have a lot of acquaintances, but I challenge you to figure out how many actual friends you have. And that's what all the rap songs are about. So anyway, the next plan B is be okay with what you have. I can't stress that enough. I'm not the flashy guy. So I put up a new picture on Facebook. That was me in the truck, looking down kind of crazy. And luckily my old phone broke. So this new S7 takes whoa pictures, right? And it did a bunch of stuff to make me look the way it looks in the picture. And I'm like, that's really awesome. Cool. Look at me. And I put it up there but I was okay before that. I wear I'm in t-shirts and stuff. I have to get dressed up every once in a while. But I'm okay whether I have a degree or I don't have a degree. I'm okay whether you like me or you don't like me. I'm okay if you look me off at the luncheon, and then 10 minutes later when I'm standing next to the host or the person running it or the person being awarded, now all of a sudden you want to shake my hand. I'm still okay with you because I'm okay. Most of you are not okay. When I'm talking to people, it only takes me a few minutes to realize whether you're doing this for yourself or you're doing this for public attention. And all of a sudden, it hits me we're going to fail because the minute public attention, minute the public isn't doing or reacting the way you want them to react, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it. You're going to, what's going on? And our plan B is out the window because we haven't even started the business yet. So part of it is working through your plan B. Have some money coming in elsewhere. I'm serious. Have some money coming in elsewhere. Swallow your pride. Man, I've worked the meat room. I've at grocery stores. I've delivered papers. I think one time when I was in my 20s, I was walking around up in the hood, the north side of Houston and laundromats selling stuffed animals with some guy because I want to try it. I want to see what's this life like? But too many of you are just consumed with ego and guilt. I train you on it. You're either guilt because you got kicked around as a kid and you never want to feel that again. You're the goofy looking kid or something and you're out here to prove something. Or you're a pretty Ricky Fontaine in high school and now you got to show the world that you're still pretty even though you're not pretty anymore. You're not the high school superstar anymore. You're not the rich kid that your parents put up anymore. And you start businesses and you set up your plan B around stuff that is basically going to be self-defeating. So just be okay with yourself. If you're broke right now, be okay with being broke. What's wrong with being broke? Almost 7/8 of the world is broke compared by American standards. Just be okay with it. But know that once you're okay with it, now you're ready to go do something else. It's kind of like me being mad at the people that have ripped me off in this city. The energy I spend worrying about those clowns is energy I could have spent on maybe one more lynda.com course on, how to use Adobe Storyteller. I don't know. But you can't waste energy being mad about things that don't work out the way you want them to work out. A lot of times wasted there. Now, here we go. I should go to break, but since we're doing this whole YouTube or this whole, I keep saying that because since we're doing the whole Facebook friends, hi, Robbie, Renee, Renice, Diva, I see y'all on there. Okay, so wake up from the dream time. So we're 27 minutes past the hour. You're listening to Community Business Hour here on 90.1 KPFT HD3. Phone lines are open, but I'm not going to give it to you. So let's go on. Wake up from your dream. Let's take action now. Here's what you need, all right? Check it out. You need money to win. You're ready to start it. You're ready to grow it. You're ready to go big. Here's how I take my cat litter to market. Now I'm cool with whatever I do. So if my cat litter works or it doesn't work, whether it goes big, bigger, best, boom, bust, doesn't matter. I'm okay. A lot of you just like, oh, if that fails, it's my last good idea. And I'm going to tell you why it was your worst idea too. It goes like this. I got the cat litter. I'm not glued to the cat litter. And if I can't find a market for the cat litter goes bye-bye. But here's how it works. You need money to win. Where is it? Here's the part why I don't understand what marketing people are doing. And if you're any of my marketing people and you're not like even some of my haters that bite on my material and take it out or buy on everybody's material and take it out there, take this and empower yourself and empower your clients. Earn your $1,500 this month. When it comes to any business, government, nonprofit, whatever, it's about money. It is 1,462,000,000% about money. This station takes money. All the love in the world, all the hugs in the world, all the likes in the world won't pay bills. So what I do each morning, a couple times a week intensely, but each morning, figure out where's the money in the world? Where's the money in my market? I don't care about people. Take it out of context if you want to. I'm not concerned with people. You know why? Because you're going to do exactly what the Republican Party tells you, Democratic Party tells you, Atheist Party tells you, Christian Party tells you, Muslim Party tells you. You're going to do exactly what you're told to do each day. So I don't care about you. You're set. You're locked and loaded. People are the least of my worries. Least. I know how to get to you. I can see how many of you are watching the show right now. It will tell me at what time you logged in and logged out. I can go to GPS and say, where do you shop? So people are the least of my worries when it comes to marketing. I'm a marketing guru. What's important is, where is the money? Like, where's Waldo? Where is the money? And once you figure out where the money is, things can get really good. Things can get very, very good. So here's how it works. We wake up each morning and we say, hey, okay, where's the money going today? And if you listen to, like I said, to the MSNBC, I can't believe I said that. If you listen to like the CNBC, you listen to Bloomberg TV, all the stuff I already put on the internet. So if you're following me and you're watching this, you have access to all my stuff on my page just about. We go and we look and we listen and like, today so-and-so bought out so-and-so is going to divest from so-and-so hedge fund manager made this money and blah, blah, blah. And they're telling me where all the money in the world's going. At least not the shadow dollars, but the top dollars are telling me where they're going. When they say XYZ is going to put $500 million into Clear Lake for NASA research and to build SpaceX, it may not be there yet, but I know where it's going. Now, here's the next trick in the stage 4 waking up. I have to figure out who gets to manage it, who gets to play with the money. That's where a lot of you network with the wrong people because you play with everybody that just gets the money. They don't actually get to hand out the money. And since you want some money and you're getting it from people who just get the money, all you can do from them is make them consumers. You can go out there and maybe sell them a T-shirt or sell them a new iPhone cover or something. But in your mind, you're thinking you're going to get with the people who cut the deals, who write the checks. You're getting certified. You're getting all this you're buzzing around. You're doing all this hanging out with the suits thinking they're the ones who made all this possible. You're thinking they're sitting with the Economic Development Council talking about where we're going to put in roads, what kind of tax abatements, who's going to do what, when, where, how, why. But you're not. That's why I said most of these network functions are just broke people hanging around broke people doing broke people stuff. Like, here, want my card? That's it. Check it out. Next thing you know, you need to know. This is number 2. You need to know which of the people have the money, how much of it, and what they're going to do with it. Those are customers, period. Like I told you, once I understand where the money is, I understand that money's going to come out of that company just a few ways. And follow me on this. I know my stuff. The money's going to get so we know investment was put in. Great. But that's not where the money comes in. The money comes in simply from they're going to export something to another country, another city, another town, another something, another company. And that company's going to give them money. That's called productivity. That's called making money. That's actually what you're supposed to be doing. That's why, So now this company is making it hand over fist. Boom. They're bringing in. They're selling. If you think about my cat litter, I'm selling 400 million barrels of cat litter a day to Saudi Arabia. That money I bring in is either going to go to my suppliers, which is another business. It's going to go to my employees, or it's going to stay and we're going to hold it as equity in the company for other things. And then, of course, Uncle Sam's going to take their little cut. And by knowing where that money's going, that's why when you guys used to get so excited about city budget coming out and city planning coming out, what are you going to do now that they're $100 million in the hole, huh? They're still going to spend money, right? But did you hear what I said? If you're already in the hole, that means somebody is not going to have a chair in musical chairs, right? When that music starts playing, they pulled a couple $100 million of chairs out. And now when all the same vendors that chase the same stuff go to sit down, all that certification for nothing. So the trick is you figure out where the money is going. Stop focusing on people, you people, and start focusing on the money. If you're talking about business. Now, if you're just talking about you need your ego stroked, you need a little love. You need people to say, you're awesome. You go, girl. You go, boy. Oh my gosh, you're so bold. If you need that, Facebook is your place. You're doing great. You got likes and everything coming in. Do your thing. But if you're about making money, you follow the money. Who cares about the people? The people are going to go where the money is. And the ones that don't are going to cry about, the government did me dirty. I ain't got no money. I don't understand. Where's the money? Why do you think think about this. Think about the power of what I said as you domestically sit your behinds in the seats and listen to this show. If you walk outside your door and you're in the Houston metro area now, you will notice that a lot of Hispanics aren't around anymore. They went back. Dollars this, their economy's doing better. There's not a lot of money here. But then they did this little thing called the visa. And as you look up, you see more and more from the East, right? Not Asians. You see Indians and Pakistanis. You see that? You look around, you go to Walmart. Used to be a black chick, right? Sitting there checking you out. Nah, that didn't work out. They found cheaper labor. There was a Hispanic, Mexican checking you out. And that didn't work out. Now it's an Indian checking you out. Those people followed the money. Most of you are sitting around crying about not having enough of it. It's not my problem. I made it known. Do what you need to do with it, okay? All right, so once you've now woken up and started your dream and you're like, okay, here we go. So I'm going to wake up now and take action. I need to find out where the money is to win. 2 thumbs up. Then I need to turn around and figure out who's getting the money. Who is getting the money? Because those need to be your customers. And I'll say this in this section in case I forget because I can't find a pin, right? And it's 20, what do we got? 34 minutes past the hour. So look at that. And I am going to finish early today. I don't do B to B. I don't do B to G, G to G, G to B, any of that. So in other words, the only business that exists in my universe is person to person, but more specifically, people to consumer. Me to consumer, business to consumer. It's the only business that exists. There's no business like consumer business. Here's why. You want to get rich. You want to make money, right? But you're not in the in crowd. You're not sitting there with the people who cut up the pie and said, hey, Josh, how much we're going to put on this deal? I think we ought to get Fred to do the roads and Bobby, you're going to do the houses. Ted, what you good at? I'm not good at anything. Give him something to do. Put $100 million on Alex over there. If you're not sitting at that table, you're just I don't know. But the cool part about it is those folks have to put somebody to work to do their work. And when they do their work, here's the cool part about it. Those people, remember what I said? It's either going to go to suppliers, and suppliers have what? They have employees, they have other suppliers, and they have Uncle Sam to pay. Consumers, employees turn to consumers, are what everybody's hunting for at the highest level of the food chain. When we find consumers, we know consumers have no kind of common sense or discretionary thought. They don't care. You will spend. That's why it hurts so bad to spend as much as I spend on this phone, because I'm a business guy. I'm about saving my money, not spending it to please others and look apart. Consumers will buy anything on just the most non-rational reasons. A business owner, if you're truly a business owner, you're not going to get maximum dollar out of a business owner because they're there to squeeze the dollar out of you. So if you're out here and you're like, I'm B2B, you have to do incredible volume or you have to be sitting at the table. If you're sitting at the table when they're cutting the deal, your margins are built in. If you are not sitting at the table, everybody at that table is trying to find who's going to do the cheapest, who's going to do it for the least amount. That's what they're hunting for. And so for you to be out here bragging about your B2B, I'm like, but you're always going to be like, you know, sitting next to me telling me, yeah, John, they went with the lowest bid. Or they went with their friend. Like, yeah, I know. So which one were you? Lowest bid. Did they go with you? No. Why not? They went with their friend. All right, well, maybe we should look at something else. On the consumer side, check this out. The reason there's a Chase Bank on every corner in Houston is not because like the banks, the big companies are putting their money in there. No. It's because their employees are putting their money in there. And they want their employees to have access to the money that they're giving them so that they can get it right back when they sell them the goods and services the employee made. It's like going and realizing you work at Chipotle, but you can't even afford the food there. So I say all that to say, look, when I'm looking for the money, I'm trying to find the consumer. So I know that from my cat litter business, I'm looking for those consumers. There's no B2B in my mind. I use businesses as distribution services. I'll go B2B with you if you have a great business and you can reach the consumer or you can help me service the consumer, then I'll do it with you. I'll be like, sure, you know, we can partner up. We can do some JCing or some JVing or whatever. But it's one of those things where I can't stress enough that, look, stop focusing on the little social media marketing stuff. Just stop. Unless you're just, and if that's your thing, I'm not knocking you. Do you. But I'm speaking to those that are serious about making money and they're serious about paying attention. Like I'll do workshops for free. No one shows up. I'll go to one of these mixers and just have a bunch of people patting themselves on their own shoulders over some chicken and salad, 400 tables sold. And I'm like, you know what? I'm good. Do your thing. But make sure that as you're building, you're doing this whole waking up for your dream, you know where the money is. I'll stop on that because I see the people I want in on this show standing outside. All right, let's go to number 5. Number 5. Develop a market to markets. Like the reason I don't do markets is because everything I design is built around a market, meaning in the middle, there was a resource center bringing in a lot of money. And as I said, I track how that money travels out. So if it's going to this group and they go to this church, I can pretty much isolate their patterns. That means they're going to live in this neighborhood. Their middle class group is going to live in this neighborhood. They're going to go to one of these 4 churches. They're going to shop at either this store, that store, whatever. We got them down. Like we know you, especially since you put all of it on Facebook anyway. We know where your kid goes to school. We know everything there is to know. You have access to the same information, but yet you're going to pay somebody that's a marketing expert. It's called Fiverr, all right? Go get some real experts that are... Anyway, so here's what you do. Develop the market-to-market setup. You want to... First thing you want to do is go out there and figure out a name for the group. Like in my cat litter group, I'm going to call it my Upper Crest Cat Litter Group, right? And this Upper Crest Cat Litter Group are like the people who go like to the Whole Foods on Voss. If you're not in this area, it's like it's like the GOP top dollar old money, like man, like they just look at you like, I can't believe he's in the store with us. Ugh. I'm not joking, but I love shopping there because they got like, you know, the capers, everything is fresh, on point. Anyway, so you figure out a name for the group. Awesome. You got your group. That group in that market, you know where they're going, what they're doing, all that stuff. Next thing you do is you start working on your operating system. How do you get your cat litter, my cat litter, to this group based on everything we know about them? That's the opposite of marketing, that push-pull thing. So for me, I can sit there and say, okay, if I know they're going to leave Second Baptist at this time, I know they're going to go to Whole Foods at this time, they're going to do Pilates and Orange Theory at this time, then they're going to tweet something about their food about this time, and then they're going to have to go over to their kids' soccer about this time. The plot thickens. Now it's strategy time. That's the difference between branding when it comes to marketing, communication when it comes to marketing, and the most important, strategy when it comes to market. So we build this plan. We figure out how to get it to them, what time to get it to them, how they want it packaged. All of you keep sitting there like sitting at your computer trying to figure out, oh, I got to make it pretty to satisfy me. I've had so many debates with people like, hey, that font's ugly, that's ugly. Well, I like it. It's pretty. It's my product. It reflects me. And I just want to take the whole side of this hand right here and just be like, whoo. I do. I really do. But instead I sit there and I think of what Gary said. Hey, if you're happy with that and it makes you feel good, do your thing. Do you. It must work, right? Okay, the next thing you got to figure out, this is the second one, or third one now. Third one, because I got to hurry up. You have to figure out who's feeding the feeder as you're designing your system. Let me explain what that means. When it comes to making money, which is the only reason I'm in business, otherwise there's so many other things I'd rather do. I cannot stand business. I don't want to hear business ideas. I don't want to hear one more, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. In order to keep that thing running, I have to know personally, where is the feeder getting their feed? Because if I'm going to invest in a system long term, so we're going to put my cat litter out there, I have to know that this customer who's an employee of a company is going to have their job for a long time or long enough to get my return back. And so I have to know that if all these people work for, say, Houston HISD, and I'm going after a bunch of teachers or administrators, I have to know where does that HISD group get their money from. So then I find out, oh, they're getting it from taxpayers and they're getting it from the government. Okay. That was the feeder. But where does the feeder get their feed from? Oh, companies, businesses that are doing business, that are paying employees, that are paying taxes and sales taxes and export taxes and all kinds of other taxes. Interesting. So if I know ahead of time, 2 months ahead of time, price of crude is dropping. Folks are starting to lay off folks. Hiring is coming to a freeze. Trickle down effect kicks in. I already know it's just a matter of time before these cat litter folks at the school can no longer buy my stuff. So versus me being like most of you and getting suckered by somebody that's going to come in and say, you're just not marketing enough. You're not advertising enough. You're not spending enough. You know what Zig Ziglar and Tom Hopkins both said? That when times are tough, you market more. The whole front of my hand, the back of my hand at this point. You can't sell to people, if you want their money, that don't have any money. I don't know. If that's making sense, just hit like. Just hit a thumb if that makes sense. Can anyone out there make money off of people who don't have access to money and are not subsidized? I don't know. I haven't really seen it. I know that if you're laid up in the hospital and your insurance company's paying for it, cool. If Medicare or Medicaid's paying for it, cool. But if you have none of those resources and I can't get you to vote or I can't send you to war, then why am I spending all this energy trying to market to you? I don't know. But this is what you say to me after you've sat with expert marketing guru. That's what happens. That's what you tell me. And then you're looking at me like, oh, John, no one knows what you do. No one knows what you do, John. But can you help me for free? All right, number 6. Build a cash machine. I've talked about this I don't know how many times. Here's how you build a cash machine. You plan a systematic extraction of that money. Like you see it, it's going there. You know you have to put an exchange point where they actually give you the money and you give them the service, widget, whatever. My cat litter goes out, their money comes in. You know that there has to be some type of awareness program to let them know, hey, at this exchange zone, there's some value you may want. And I had to build something they wanted, they understood. I didn't get to use it's my brand. My brand. I love my logo. I didn't get to use that because I'm not buying my own stuff. Okay, we move on. Review the feasibility and legal part of it. That's what when we're building a cash machine. So you take that plan we have, develop market to markets, and then we take it out there. And I've always said we run it by legal counsel. Hey, is there anything we can protect? Because if you can't protect it, then we can all come and grab your stuff, like most people do that are Facebooking and tweeting the most, grabbing other people's stuff. So I can't, if I can't protect it legally, copyright, IP, then, you know, it could be like a trade secret and we'll run it as long as we could run it before the copycatters, duplicators, and the second wave comes through, but that's fine. I keep a financial certified or a chief financial officer type, someone that's done corporate, not someone that's done big stuff to do forecasting to help us understand, where do we want to go with this? How do we want it to work out? And then lastly, and this is the part I may do a video for, I don't know. And here's where most small business owners absolutely fail. Absolutely fail. It goes like this. You don't do procurement. Okay, so what I put on this sheet was place a procurement policy and get your resources the old-fashioned way. Look, before you come to me and tell me you know how to do anything, I need to first draft up what I need. Like, you have a business, you kicked off a program, you did a show, whatever you're doing. With my cat litter, I had to know every function of my cat litter first. And I had to know where it's going, who's producing it, all this other stuff. And so I had it all written down. And so then I can go online to Giga whatever it is, Fiverr, any of them, and say, hey, I need talent that's willing to do this. What are your rates? I'm willing to pay the following. And I procure those services. I don't care if it's videography, website, legal help, whatever. Stop taking someone's portfolio and thinking they can do that for you. Because for most people, it was a one-off anyway. They put their best work up front. And I'm telling you, you would have been better served had you just said, these are the services I need. I'm going to put that out there in the universe with a price tag because you already have a budget. You already talked to your chief financial officer person. So you know what your budget's going to be, and you're going to let the world bid on it. And may the top bidder, because you remember you're a business, you're not a consumer. Stop running your business like a consumer and buying on a smile and a bunch of baloney. You buy on the fact that they can get the job done for the cheapest, which leaves money in your pocket, or you can, quote, pass it on to the consumer. My goodness. You don't get coupons in business. Newsflash. Okay, so now you turn this thing on. So we go to number 7, last point, and I'll check to see if they're out here because I want them to come in because they do the show right after this. You turn the system on, and the main thing what turning the system on means is you have the metrics and measurements in place. So if you built your system right, you already were using online, you were using customer relationship management tools online, which is open source. There's lots of stuff out there. You were using some type of online or digital accounting. You're using stuff that allowed you to track where your stuff was going, how many has been spent, what your people are doing. You're using all kinds of different tools to measure what your market's doing. So, so many people are responding to this magazine article, and so many people are now going to this new gym. I'm following. So I'm literally sitting. I can't use it because you're watching me on my actual tool right now. I can track what you're doing, what the businesses are doing. And this is hard for me to implement into a small business person's mind because they're very, very consumer thinking, not business minded thinking. They're like, oh my God, it's a lot of work. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a lot of work to set up, but that's why you pay people to do it. So we have these metrics and measurement systems in place, and we kind of knew what our key performance indicators were going to be. You know, this much volume, this many people, this much traffic, keep our cost to this. That's what we're thinking. Okay, that's what's going on. Next, adjust according to the plan. That's what, stop thinking you got to stick to it. Stop listening to all this 80-20 rule and all these little cliche hyped up. Just stop listening to that and just use some common sense. Just some common sense. So adjust accordingly, because now you have, it's like I said, you see this? With this Fitbit, I lost 8 pounds in 3 weeks. Yeah. Why? Because it told me exactly how many calories were going out. And with the app on my phone, it told me exactly how many calories were going in. As long as each day I had a 1,000-calorie deficit. Boom. Weight, half a pound fell off. Plus I used to wrestle, so I had the will to do it. Okay. So I was used to starving, which I didn't. I ate good. I ate all day. But at 2,300 calories, each calorie tasted yummy. Burning off 4,000 calories a day at times. If I'm sitting there like now and realize, hey, I'm a little behind. Look at that. Imagine if it was your business or my cat litter. Hey, John, sales are starting to drop in Wyoming. Let's fly to Wyoming real quick and do a rally. Hoorah! Yeah. That's what this measurement stuff is about. Take your earnings, and go buy another company. Do not grow your business. Do not grow your business. Especially if you're doing big or bigger. The reason, look, here's the reason why. Most of you don't have you don't have the management skills to go up and scale, all right? You're not CEO material. You're a small business person who used some common sense. You listen to me, and now you're going to get out there. So take your money while you're making money, and don't put it on more trucks. If the thing's making money now and people are standing in line to get to you, don't break it. Don't break it. That's why as many times I've been hard on certain people that have certain restaurants that just got people lined up, and I'm like, man, spread it around, make more money. At the same time, like, yeah, that's the flip side of it. It does make sense. Mattress Max was clear to say the reason he did not open a store, and I've heard him say this at many speeches, Jim McIngvale said the reason he didn't open another store for years and years and years is because he couldn't watch 2 stores and he didn't want to get ripped off. I'm like, that's true. That's true. But now he has systems in place and he's got stores all over town now, right? So there you have it. Systems in place. Yeah, take your earnings and go invest them in other revenue streams that are actually making money, or investment instruments and tools that make more money. Remember, you get rich off running a business. You get wealthy by investing your money. That is just the way it plays out. That's why hedge fund guys, even if they lost money, maybe there's a girl in there somewhere, a few of them, but hedge fund guys made more money than all of us combined for the most part. $13 billion, okay, whether they made money or not. Because when you're playing with money, you get to keep some of it. When you're playing with business, you get to worry about employees and regulations and markets and people not showing up. So, that's how it goes. Just think this through. So last, I think that's it. Yeah, take your earnings, adjust. Okay, here's the big one. Enjoy life. Love somebody worthy of being loved. It will get you through a lot. I'm telling you, learn to love somebody that's worthy. When you put time on love each day, I get to love on my crew, and it's awesome. Just you look at them like, wow, geez, I'm taking stuff too serious right now. Okay, I get to love. Next thing is be cool with receiving love, but make sure it's love and not just ambition and not just greed and not just all the little funny stuff that comes with it. Because the more successful you are, the more baloney that's going to track you down, right? And lastly, I said it over and over, learn to love yourself. Golly, geez, stop thinking someone else's opinion matters. And for some of you, it's so ingrained that all the therapy, all the Dr. Phil, all the John Whaley, all the motivational videos in the world will not be able to pull you out of worrying about what other people think. And that's sad. I feel for you. And, I'll see you on the other side is really what it amounts to. So with that said, I really didn't get to the radio part because we're coming up on 12:53. I want to thank everybody. I'm looking at, hey, Serena, Mike Sneed, Jackie, Ty, I see you're driving along. Dexter, I see you popping back on the map. Hey, Aunt Wanda, I promise I'm going to come out and help you with your deal. I got some papers to write for school. Sarah, I see. Aaron, Tico, Robbie, and Rainice. So, I want to thank all of you for, hanging out on Community Business Hour. I just needed to take time to get that off my chest today. But the thing I was going to say about radio, maybe we'll do it next week because I'll show you all the cool tools and tricks and how to set all this stuff up. It's really not that hard. And if you're doing it right, it's not that expensive. I'm fortunate enough that I get to use terrestrial radio while using digital streaming, while put this up in SoundCloud afterwards and all these other cool tools that are available. So with that said, I'm going to punch out of here. It's been real. It's been live. I wish all of you a very productive and happy, kind of week. Just go listen to some Pharrell or something, or whatever it takes to get you in the mood to realize life is short and it's the only one you get. All right. And stop crying about superstars dying and appreciate the fact that you are a superstar and that you need to live. And as Drake said, I'll go out with this, and I think he said it with Nicki Minaj, but the phrase was something to the effect of, everybody dies, but not everybody lives. Go live your life. I'll see you later, folks. Take care.